Mike and Alex, back over to you.
Two major court cases we're going to talk about right now at 7:32.
Jurors, and this is big news, because I think a lot of people saw the headline. Jurors, of course, see the two cases, the Diddy trial, and Kohberger is expected to make a plea deal. But yesterday afternoon, it was interesting because a lot of the headlines were, the jurors have a verdict. So everyone was like, oh, my goodness, there's a verdict. And then we realized they only had a verdict for some of the charges, not all. And there was one left that they're still deliberating. So we want to bring in attorney Shaka Johnson to explain and also get reaction from you on that. So it looks like they have him on 3 of the charges?
Four of the 5.
Charges,
yeah,
4
4
of the 5.
Yes.
And first, what are your thoughts on that?
It's not looking too good for the defense, I can tell you that.
Really?
Yeah, because it stands to reason they are still hung for the moment on, there's no agreement, there's no unanimous verdict on the one RICO conspiracy charge. And so it stands to reason that if they brush through in a very, very short amount of time of deliberation 4 of the charges, if they didn't think, if he was acquitted on those 4, the sex trafficking, the transportation for prostitution, it stands to reason that they would have acquitted him on the RICO charge. It just stands to reason in terms of reading the tea leaves with jurors. So it feels to me like it is guilty on at least some of those 4 or 5 charges.
And we want to know, you say short period of time, because considering how long the trial was, 2 days seems short compared to all the weeks and weeks.
Comparatively speaking to almost 2 months of testimony, a day or so of deliberation.
Now, for that RICO charge, that last one, let's go back to what that is. What is a RICO charge?
It is so layered and complex, but I'll say this. The reason that lawyers have a problem understanding what a RICO charge is. So lay people, when you read to them for 2.5 hours of jury instructions to try to get them to understand in that one moment what a RICO charge is, and then you send this very voluminous and lawyerese language back with them, essentially you're talking about a conspiracy for an entity, an enterprise. You're talking about a certain predicate acts that have to have been committed and within a certain time frame. Part of the issue is jurors probably can't wrap their minds around why one man is sitting there. They're probably having an issue with the enterprise portion of that particular, one of those elements. Did Sean Combs do this in his individual capacity, or did he do this as the CEO and owner of Bad Boy or Combs Enterprises, etc.? In which position was he? They're probably having a split regarding that. Even if you get past the enterprise portion, which I think that's where the sticking point is, now you have to agree on the predicate offenses that he supposedly did. Now, you can glean from the jury asking yesterday to read back some of Cassie Ventura's testimony, which was very pivotal, and the defense had to have a gut punch to that, because the case sort of rests on her shoulders in a lot of respects. She was that proverbial star witness. So to now in deliberations ask for her testimony to be read back while they're deciding your fate can't feel good.
And they've asked for that?
Yeah, they asked for it yesterday.
Ooh. What would be the argument that would be opposed to your opinion?
No one should have one. You should have an argument opposed to my opinion.
Really? I just don't, I'm not an attorney, but it just seems from what I've read, I don't know that they have made a case that...
Well, here, Mike, so...
For RICO.
For RICO. And that's the big one.
That's the big one. But let's be clear. On the sex trafficking, right, which is also a big one because it has a 15-year mandatory minimum.
I know, yeah.
And there are 2 of them. The man is 55 years old.
Yeah.
Right? So if he's convicted, the judge has to, must, doesn't have discretion, must give him at a minimum 15 years.
Minimum?
Minimum. So when I know RICO was the big one, but there's some other big ones.
Okay.
That the jury has already decided on.
Of the other 4,
yes,
he can still be in prison.
Is it possible for them to say, look, we can't come to the agreement on this RICO charge. Can we just do the verdict for the other 4 and just say hung jury on the one RICO charge?
Yes, but the prosecution probably doesn't want that, right? And I'm sure the defense doesn't want that either, because here's what happens. If there is a mistrial, if there's a hung jury, they remain deadlocked on the RICO conspiracy charge, he could be retried on that offense. And what the prosecution will probably do is wait until after sentencing if he's in fact convicted, wait until after sentencing to see what sort of sentence he gets, to see if they want to invest those sort of resources, bring all those witnesses in again, sort of. I'm sure this case cost in the millions to put on in terms of witnesses and resources.
So Cassie would have to testify again.
Everything again. So they'll wait and see if they want to do that. They'll wait and see what sort of sentence he gets if he's in fact convicted.
Do you know how many jurors are hung up?
No, we won't know that until it's all over.
Okay.
But I can tell you, based on the note they sent out yesterday, it doesn't seem like one.
Oh, it's more.
Yeah. The way in which that note was worded to the judge definitely gave the impression that there are sides, plural. There are sides here, and we are sort of convicted in our feelings, and we are sort of feeling deadlocked, which is why he should read that Allen charge today.
Okay.
The judge should read that Allen charge this morning.
I say it's not guilty.
Which an Allen charge, of course, is to send them back and say you have to deliberate some more.
Essentially a reiteration of, I want you guys to continue deliberating with an eye toward reaching a verdict, but do not just go along to get along.
Remind everybody what we told you yesterday about Kohberger. He's going to plead.
He's going to plead this morning.
So he doesn't die.
He will. So he didn't get death penalty, but it does appear that based on Idaho law, he will die in prison.
And he'll have to show up in court to do that.
Yes, he does.
Okay.
Yes, he does. And the family wasn't happy about that, by the way.
No.
They were not happy by a long measure.
They wanted the guy dead.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll see what happens maybe as early this afternoon. So.
Because if not, then it's a holiday, so they won't go till next week.
That's right.
Well, they still have tomorrow.
Oh, that's
true.
That's true.
They still have tomorrow.
Okay.
That's right. Tomorrow's the
But
3rd.
I'm like you. I'm sensing something today.
All right. Come right